Capricorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is all about February of 2020 for your zodiac sign. You heard right. Each zodiac sign has its own little reading about the month of February. So this way, I can ensure that your readings are super personalized. So the timestamps for each sign is in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section. So you can click your sign to fast forward to your reading. And of course, if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed your reading, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well as turn on the notification bell in order to stay connected and never miss out on another reading. Furthermore, my tarot reading course is dropping very soon. The link for that will be down in the description box, so feel free to check that out if you want to join a class taught by the Unicorn Queen. So yeah, you guys, I want to keep this intro very short because I'd rather spend more time within your individual reading in order to give you as much value as I possibly can, because as you guys know, my channel is all about you. So let's spend more time talking about your life in February of 2020. Hello, all my gorgeous little Aries, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be conducting your reading completely intuitively, so lean back and enjoy, and let's see what February has in stock for you. So we have freedom, we have past lives, we have polarity, as well as nature. So all my Aries, it looks as though February has a lot of time spent grounding in stock for you. It looks as though you're going to find your sanctuary in nature. So if you feel kind of tired, if you feel kind of depleted, and know that a place where you can recharge your energy is by getting out into the nature and actually grounding yourself, actually spending time taking those shoes off and feeling the energy of the earth. Furthermore, in freedom, one thing that I see here is that you're going to be able to live out your wild side a little more. So as an Aries, you're probably somebody who is very quick-witted and someone who is most likely also a little more adventurous than others. And I want you to know in freedom that you're going to be able to reclaim your independence. So if you feel like it's been lost, if you feel as though your kind of daredevil side has been dimmed or you haven't been able to find something where you can really live it out, know that in February there will be tons of opportunities for you. And past lives, one thing that I see here is that you're an old soul, okay? You have a lot of wisdom. You're probably wise beyond your years, and people are most likely always kind of surprised at your age, not because you look old, but because you're so mature. And one thing that I see here is that just in order to raise your vibration, one thing that you can do is to integrate your shadow side into everything that you do in order to release your past life karma, just karma that you do not need anymore. So in correlation to polarity, one thing that I want you to know is that there cannot be good without bad, okay? There cannot be lightness without light without darkness, not lightness. You guys get what I mean. So understand the law of polarity and the fact that, one cannot exist without the other, which doesn't mean that one is better than the other. Quite the contrary. They need each other to exist. So don't feel as though light is always only positive and darkness is only negative. They need each other, and they both have pluses and minuses if you only open your eyes to see those. Then we have the 7 of crystals, we have the 4 of feathers, we have the 7 of shells, the 5 of feathers, as well as the page of shells. Okay, we have a ton of feathers, we have a ton of shells. So we have in these shells kind of a water energy, okay? So a little bit, something is happening here emotionally. One thing that I see in these 7 of shells is the fact that you will have a lot of different choices, and the most difficult thing for you really will be to feel like you're making the right choice. That is one thing that I see in the page of shells. You feel inspired to do many things, but actually following through with them, that is a different story, because you want to make sure that you're making the right choice, and you want to make sure that you get the results that you desire. That is one thing that I see in the 7 of crystals. You're very goal-oriented, you're very profit-oriented, okay? The 7 of crystals is all about you being able to gain more things financially, materially, and in order for you to get those results, of course, you're going to have to make sure that you have a strategy, and that is one thing that I see in the 5 of feathers. The suit of feathers corresponds to kind of your mental state, okay? It corresponds to the Suit of Swords. And I want you to know here that in correlation to that kind of air sign energy, you need to be a little bit resilient here if you come up with a strategy in February and it doesn't work the very first time, okay? February might be a lot of trial and error for you in order to be able to gain material wealth and just wealth in the earthly realms. That could be more time as well. That could be better health. So in order for you to kind of like come back, okay, to kind of like build that resilience, you have to make sure that you give yourself enough time to rest. In the Four of Feathers, I see that you have to make time to recover. You have to make time to rest. Nobody is just going to give you that time. So you have to take it, okay? You have to say no to certain things. For instance, if there's extra work that you can do for your career, if there's an extra meetup that you can go to, just say no, and guess what? Money will come. This is no coincidence, all my Aries, okay? So just to show you exactly what card flew out of the pile, I want you to know that you're going to find a way to more abundance in February, okay? I want you to know that this is a great month money-wise for you. This is a great month for you to focus on that as well as to recharge your energy in order to gain more financial freedom and just continue setting yourself up. Then last but not least, we have gratitude. So your strategy for February really should be gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, and to make sure that you focus on what you have, on everything that's going really well right now. Because as I said, a trial and error is happening in February. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm an honest tarot reader over here. I'm not just gonna tell you what you wanna hear, but in order to come out of February feeling like you've actually gained, like you've actually grown, and to not come out feeling very tired and lethargic, what you're going to want to do is to remain grateful for the experiences that you've had, as well as the times that you had more error rather than success, because errors just show you more ways of how not to do it, which will bring you closer to how to be successful, okay? And without making mistakes, there is no success. I can tell you that right now. The only model where not making mistakes works, that is school, okay? And that is it. In real life, you have to make mistakes in order to grow. So don't be ashamed of them, embrace them, and allow your wild side to take over every now and then. So all of my dear Aries, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, that you found it inspirational, motivational, and that it gave you a little bit of clarity for the month of February. So let me know down below what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, my little Taurus gang, and welcome to your reading. So let's figure out what's happening in your life in February of 2020. So I'm so pumped to read for you, just so we can find out exactly what's going on. So first and foremost, we have hope as well as discernment. So in hope, one thing that I see here is that you have to remain positive, okay? I see here that the worst is behind you. I feel as though maybe 2018, 2019 were not the best, okay? They may have actually been the worst if we're honest with each other. And I want you to know here that now is the time to look up to the light, okay? You've already experienced some of the worst downs that you can experience, and now it is time to just let go of that, because sometimes when you've gone through difficult times, you keep watching your back, you're like, oh, when's something bad gonna happen next? But that is just stopping you from being mindful, from really enjoying life and being in the moment. So don't allow past experiences to take away from the now, okay? So in discernment, one thing that I see here is that not everything is as it seems, okay? It's important for you to stay true to the things that you know to be true, and stay true to the people who have proven themselves as trustworthy. One thing that I also see here is that you have to keep your aspirations, your next moves, your dreams a secret. There are some people in your camp or around your camp, some people, who have put up a tent around you, who are kind of interested in what you're doing next for the wrong reasons. So this could be competitiveness at work, this could be just competition in general in life. So keep your aspirations, your dreams kind of on the down low, okay? Don't yell them from the rooftops, because that is not beneficial in February. Then we have balance as well as partnership. So all my beautiful Tauruses, one thing that I see here in balance is the fact that you have to take time to relax. I see that you have to set boundaries when it comes to your work, okay? Make sure that you have enough time to really recuperate as well as invest in partnerships. I see here that teamwork will give you a better result, but the only way how you can really engage in teamwork is if you make time for that partnership to be built, okay? You have to make time for teamwork because teamwork takes trust, and that is one thing that cannot be rushed. So furthermore, as a Taurus, you're more grounded, you're pretty reliable, you're somebody who knows how to work really hard, and it can sometimes even be hard for you to switch off once you've gotten yourself into the groove. And that is why in balance, I want you to know here that it's okay to indulge a little more in February. It's okay to give yourself a little bit more of a time out, if you will, and don't feel guilty for it. The worst thing that I see that could come here for you is guilt, or as we spoke about in hope, kind of like watching your back and thinking to yourself, when is the next difficult situation going to occur? Then we have money. Okay, so in money, one thing that I see here is that there is a way to abundance presenting itself in February for you. I want you to know that in order to be able to see this opportunity, you need to be well rested, okay? And one thing about this opportunity is that this partnership, this support team might help you actually be able to take it, okay? Because sometimes you need another person's help, you need another person's pair of eyes to see something that you may have failed to see. So don't underestimate this in February. Then in self-reliance, one thing that I see here is that you shouldn't be afraid to do things by yourself. So you may have gotten a little bit codependent, or you may have felt as though you kind of want to be with somebody around you just because, you know, you can be low-key a little bit clingy sometimes, and that is completely fine. I mean, who doesn't like to spend time with those that we love the most? But flying solo is going to be good for you as a whole, okay, for you emotionally, because sometimes when you don't get out by yourself quite enough, you can become really anxious, okay? You can become really apprehensive of doing things without another person there, or doing things that are out of the ordinary all by yourself. So make sure that you make that the norm, that you don't make it like a special occasion, and that way nothing can scare you, and you're basically unstoppable that way. Then we have the Queen of Crystals, we have the 10 of Crystals, we have the 7 of Feathers, we have the 8 of Shells, as well as the 2 of Feathers. Okay, so we have two cards that correspond, right here. We have 2 cards that correspond to feathers, okay, so air signs. Then we have the 10 of Crystals, as well as the Queen of Crystals, which correspond to earth signs, okay? And in the 8 of Shells, we have a card that corresponds to water. So we have a very sort of colorful mixture. Let's start off with the Queen of Crystals, though, shall we? So in the Queen of Crystals, one thing that I see here is more comfort and more prosperity. So you may think to yourself, how am I going to achieve that? I want you to know that sometimes you just need to let it happen. Sometimes you just have months that are more chill, where you can find more comfort in just being you and just enjoying what is coming towards you. Furthermore, in the 10 of Crystals, I see more stability and more gain, okay? That is one thing that I see in correlation to money, as well as self-reliance. So because you are opening basically the floodgates of abundance, you're having things come into your life that you didn't expect so soon. So it could be a pay raise, it could be extra money, it could also be you being able to finally start your own hustle, your own side hustle. So that is one thing where you have to fly solo. So of course, teamwork will help you to discern between good opportunities and bad opportunities, but there are certain things that you just need to do by yourself and certain things that you need to keep to yourself, okay? Keep that in mind. Then in the 7 of Feathers, one thing that I see here is that you have to prepare, okay? February is a month of preparation for big things to come in March as well as April. And I see here on the 8 of Shells that you will be more clear about what your quest is in life and what your next steps are, as well as being able to just focus on that one direction. That is one thing that I see in the 2 of Feathers. You have to make that decision in February as to what direction you go down. You're maybe not necessarily going to be working on it full force, but decisions have to be made. And I want you to know here in the 7 of Feathers that the best way to prepare yourself for a big decision is to be a little bit resourceful, okay? Research on the internet, ask people around you, and also make sure that you're being very open-minded to the different outcomes that it could be possible from, you know, making this decision, from preparing for this next big move in your life. And in the Eight of Shells, I want you to know here that in order to really feel as though your quest is worthy, in order to really feel like you're doing something that makes a change in this world, it's very important for you to always feel as though you can get energy out of what it is that you're doing, okay? That is one thing that is super important for you. Keep your dreams a secret and know that a dream is really something that is achievable if you're 100% obsessed with it, and if you feel like you can engage with it every single day, work on it every single day tirelessly without feeling like you made the wrong decision. So that is just one thing that I see you working on. That is one thing that I see you finally having time for, as in the Ten of Crystals. There is some sort of completion, okay? Maybe you're done with a big project, or work is just kind of a little bit slower, which gives you time to think about these things, which gives you time to build more stability overall in life, as well as choose maybe a new direction, or just make that decision on finally starting that blog, starting that YouTube channel, finally writing that book, and actually, you know, beginning, not being full force into it. That those first steps are always the scariest, and once you've overcome those, things can just soar and flow. So all my Tauruses, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home, as well as what provided you with clarity, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my gorgeous Geminis, and welcome to your reading. So let's move straight into it in order to figure out what's happening in your life in February of 2020. So we have adventure, we have imagination, as well as cycles. So I definitely see here that there is more to discover for you in February of 2020. I see that you are going to be able to do things differently, as well as manifest a lot more of your travel dreams, okay? So you may have some destinations that you want to visit. You may have some places that you would like to go, and February is a great month for you to book vacations. It is a great month for you to already make plans, as well as to move to a new location. So if you're thinking of moving or looking for a new place, know that February is a great month for you to find new places, to go see places, as well as house hunting, okay? That is something that is great. Then furthermore, in imagination, I see here that you're going to be able to envision a new reality in a new place, as well as a new reality once you have been able to give yourself the time to travel and adventure, because as you most likely know, what really changes you and teaches you a lot of things is traveling, is seeing other cultures and other places. So give yourself the permission to already feel as though you're there, to already feel almost like a little more cultured and traveled, because when you put yourself in that position, when you use sort of visualization to manifest, that is when you're able to begin this new cycle and to know that everything has its right time. Some things you have to prepare more for, other things just kind of happen. So in order to travel and in order to kind of like grow, okay, you have to manifest. You have to put in a little bit of work. You have to actually write it in the calendar. That is something that is not just going to happen. So allow yourself to just like tune into the moon's magic, tune into when you feel it's right for you to book a trip, but don't procrastinate it and don't push it aside. Then we have anger. So all my Geminis, one thing that I see here is that you have to find a safe way to express your anger. How you're expressing it right now is most likely not helping, and as a Gemini, you're maybe a bit more anxious, a bit more tense than others, and you may get a little stressed out very easily, okay? And one thing that I want you to know in anger is the fact that you can use anger as a positive force. If you channel that energy into something productive, you would actually be surprised what you could do with it. So try and find different ways how when you find yourself getting anxious or getting angry, you can actually redirect those emotions and that energy into another thing, okay? Into a creative venture, maybe your work, and maybe also just something physical, okay? Working out, for instance. Then we have enlightenment, as well as the dolphin. So in the dolphin, one thing that I want you to know is that you're a little bit of a worrywart in February, okay? And it's important for you not to worry, but just to enjoy. That is what your guides want you to know, because in enlightenment, one thing that I see here is that spiritual growth is intimidating, okay? Spiritual growth, a lot of people feel like a spiritual awakening is this kind of like, not luxurious thing, but how do I describe it? They think it's more fabulous than it really is. But when you're going through spiritual growth, oh, Like you wake up drenched in sweat at night, you dream weird things, you feel like you're seeing numbers over and over again, and you just don't feel like your body is even your body, okay? You feel like your soul is wandering around on this plane aimlessly, and you don't even know what your body is doing, okay? You feel almost like you're the soul outside of your body. It's very strange, but I want you not to worry. I want you to know that if you feel strange, if you feel sleepless, if you feel lethargic, even though maybe you did sleep for 10 hours, you know, that is something that comes with spiritual growth as well as enlightenment and spiritual awakening. So that may just be one more step that you're taking in February. Then we have the Ace of Crystals, Temperance, as well as the Knight of Crystals. So in the Ace of Crystals, one thing that I see here is a great chance for you to start a new business, as well as to just manifest more wealth into your life and prosperity. So if you're looking to do something in order to create more monetary gain, more financial gain, then February of 2020 is a great month to start it. In the Knight of Crystals, I see here that you're going to need a lot of endurance and determination though, because you're going through this kind of like spiritual transition. A lot of energy is going through that, and a lot of your thoughts and so on are charged in a way how you're asking yourself, what is going on with my body? You know, what the heckaroonie, as Miss Darcy would say here on YouTube. I want you to know here in Temperance that you need balance, okay? Harmony is the most important thing and the most beneficial thing that you could ever bring into your life in February. So a great way for you to bring more harmony into your life is just to make sure that you have a good balance. So while you may be planning an adventure and already booking, make sure that you take a day trip, just a little bit of time away from your usual spots that you go to in order to just feel a bit more freed and feel like you can see things from a little bit of a distance again. Then we have the Page of Crystals as well as the Five of Crystals. So we have a ton of crystals here for you, okay? And crystals are all about things on the earthly plane. They're all about earth signs. So there may be an amazing chance for an earth sign to come into your life. That is one thing that I see in the Knight of Crystals. But here in the Page of Crystals, I also see very fresh new energy. So this could either be somebody who's a little bit more established or a little bit more, not childlike, but naive. But I see that most likely it'll be a mixture between these two people, okay? So someone who knows exactly what they want, who is determined, but at the same time has really cool, fresh new ideas that they're not afraid to explore because they feel like they can do anything, as they have not been knocked out many times before, okay? So know that in business, often being naive is your biggest strength, because people who have been in business for a long time, they know what can go wrong, so they have fears, okay? They already have things that they're thinking that they're trying to avoid. Meanwhile, you're able to explore new things. This person in your life is able to explore brand new things without this fear of doing something wrong. Then in the Five of Crystals, I see new possibilities, okay? I see that if you're persistent enough to follow the things that you've always wanted to follow, all of a sudden new doors will open, and it's kind of like magic, okay? So there are things that I've wanted to do, for instance, okay? I wanted to do YouTube, or I wanted to have my own online store, and I have done all of those things, and just being persistent, all of a sudden things take off, all of a sudden things start working out, and then they open even more doors. So if there's one piece of advice that I can give you for February of 2020, also from personal experience, is to be persistent on the things that you really want, because all of a sudden they'll take off and the next door will open, and I want you to go through all of those doors, all my dear Geminis. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it gave you inspiration as well as motivation. Let me know down below what really hit home with you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my beautiful Cancerians, and welcome to your reading. So I want to get straight into it in order to figure out what is happening in your life in February of 2020. So let's see what's happening, shall we? First and foremost, we have the Ace of Acorns as well as Strength. So in the Ace of Acorns, one thing that I see here is fiery energy, okay? Acorns correspond to fire signs as well as that passionate go-getter energy. So I want you to know here that creative force as well as confidence is what is coming towards you in February of 2020. Furthermore, I see an increase in strength, okay? I see that you have more power to endure through through obstacles as well as courage to break through mental limitations. Okay, and then we have the Four of Shells. So in the Four of Shells, one thing that I see here is stability, okay? Emotional stability. I also see a certain amount of soul searching. I see because things in the emotional planes, things with your relationships are going so well, you are able to do a little bit more exploring of yourself. And as you know, if you're an OG, if cards pop out of the decks, I see them as signs, and we are going to look straight into them. So we have the Nine of Crystals, we have the Shadow, as well as the Shaman. So in the Nine of Crystals, first and foremost, I see more security, okay? The Nine of Crystals shows that you're very close to reaching more abundance, that you're very close to just hitting that next pivotal point when it comes to your career and your finances. So what I want you to know for February is that you have to hang in there, okay? The number 9, we're just before the number 10, which stands for completion, and sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody to just keep going. Okay, that is one thing that I see here in the Shadow, that you're going to have to do a lot of self-empowerment. There's nobody there to push you the way you need to be pushed. And sometimes when there's nobody there to push you, you just got to be your own cheerleader, okay? You just got to push yourself. So I see that you have to remind yourself why you had this ambition in the first place in order to just give yourself the inspiration to continue moving forward. In the Shaman, one thing that I see is that you have, very divine wisdom. You have wisdom that not many people of your walk of life or your age possess, just because you have been open-minded enough to attain that wisdom, okay? You have searched for it. A lot of people say to you, oh, well, you're just naturally a spiritual person, or you're just naturally an ambitious person. And you're like, no. This was a lot of work, okay? This was a lot of research, and this was a lot of soul searching. So one thing that I see here is that February is a great month to now make use of that, all my dear Cancerians. So then we have partnership as well as beloved. So in partnership, one thing that I see is obviously a good chance for a new partnership to form, okay? A new relationship. And I want you to know that teamwork makes the dream work. The best way for you to move forward in February is by teaming up with others. And you may think to yourself, oh my God, I don't work well with others. I like to do my own thing, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, sometimes it is better to delegate certain tasks or to do certain tasks with people who are better at those tasks than you, because it just saves you so much more time, effort, and energy. And just micromanaging is not healthy. Keep that in mind. In beloved, one thing that I want you to know is that you have to prepare for your life partner in February. So maybe your life partner is already kind of in your life, but you're going through a rocky phase, and maybe you're completely single, and that is one thing that you're excited about. So in correlation to partnership, there is very much romantic energy here in the air for you in February of 2020. I want you to know that if you are in an existing relationship, more romance is returning into the relationship. And if you are single, then that belief that you are lovable is kind of going to be reborn, okay? There's going to be a rebirth of it, and it's going to attract romantic partners that you may see as, okay, why not? Okay, this could be an option. So I want you to know that it is important for you to stay open-minded, okay? Don't close your mind to any possibilities, as well as make yourself available for people to approach you. Then we have the Dragon, we have Face Your Fears, we have 7 Deadly Sins, as well as Good Fortune. So I'm sure you want to hear the good news first. So we got good fortune for you, all my dear Cancerians. Okay, good fortune is obviously amazing. Who does not like good fortune in their life? So prepare for February to be a month where you feel as though there's serendipity, you feel as though there's luck that's on your side. And one thing that I see in Face Your Fears is the fact that that will allow you to release more power that fear holds over you. So fear is often something that keeps us complacent or stops us from accomplishing really our highest good. But being able to feel lucky, like things are flowing, like you don't have to worry so much, will allow you to overcome fears a lot more easily. In these 7 Deadly Sins, one thing that I see is that something is going to happen around you that is going to make you question humanity a lot. Okay, so this could be kind of like a natural disaster kind of thing. It could be something caused by humans, but you're going to come in contact with it one way or another, through the media, through people, that you're speaking to maybe even, it might even be like near you physically. And I see that that is going to make you really question, why are we doing this to our planet? Why are humans so destructive? Why is this world the way it is. And one thing that I see here in the dragon is that you're going to rediscover your courage to actively do something, okay? Just seeing this sort of other people suffering, nature suffering, animal suffering is going to bring you to a point where you're like, look, I'm a natural empath, and I know that the right thing to do is to offer whatever I can in return to, you know, the people who don't have. And one thing that I see here is that it is essential for you to do things such as donate, spread awareness however you can. I know not everybody has the financial means to donate any money, and also dedicate time towards causes around you. That will make you feel so much more connected and make you feel as though we can make a change, you know, one step at a time, one person at a time, but change starts with you. So that courage sort of reignites is something that just gives you a whole new spark and aura during February of 2020. So a lot of humanitarian thoughts and work, as well as endurance, courage, strength in order for you to continue moving forward and make the most out of the good fortune that is in your life during this time. So all my dear Cancers, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I truly hope that it gave you motivation as well as inspiration. Let me know down below what you're most excited about, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my Leos, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be starting off your reading with completely intuitively laid cards as usual, and let's figure out what's happening for you in February of 2020. So we have vacation as well as creative wonderment. So in vacation, one thing that I see here is that you have time for relaxation and adventure, and if you've been looking to go on a trip for a long time now, book it, all my dear Leos, okay? You are the kind of person who is very zesty when it comes to just your personality, okay? You're someone who people notice. You're somebody who really has that spark and other people often feel a little bit jealous about, okay? So one thing that I see here in creative wonderment is that you have to stand up against the haters, against the odds, and continue living your passions and following your passions, because often when people see you doing well or people see you going down a certain route that intimidates them, they might try and drag you back down. But as a Leo, you don't need that, okay? You're energetic, you're the kind of person who is out there, who can get anything done and is passionate. I mean, what more do you need in order to just accomplish greatness? Not much. You just have to let go of giving an F about what other people think or say in February. Then we have gratitude as well as self-reliance. So one thing that I see in self-reliance is the fact that you may have already stopped giving an F a long time ago, okay? And I see that flying solo is something that you're not afraid to do. And especially in February, there are many things that you're going to have to do by yourself, and it may make you feel a little bit deserted and lonely. Honestly, you may feel almost a little bit butthurt when it comes to your friends and your family, just because you feel like you want to do more with them. You want to kind of do these tasks with another soul, with another human being, but for some reason they have less time than you would like them to. But I don't want you to feel butthurt, all my Leos, okay? I want you to know in gratitude that it's more important for you to just be grateful that they're in your life and that you have the ability to reschedule things. So somebody might bail on you last minute with plans that you were really looking forward to, and instead of feeling down about it or feeling like, great, now I need to do this alone again, I just want you to focus on being grateful for the fact that you even have somebody to bail on you. I know this sounds really weird because a lot of people don't have anybody, okay? And you can reschedule. A lot of people wish that they could reschedule one last meeting with somebody who is not walking this earthly plane anymore, if you know what I mean. So be thankful for that and know that it's not a big deal. Don't let it get to you. So then we have action as well as support. So I see here that you have to kind of get over your ego, okay? So you have to ask for support. In February, I see that there's something that would be beneficial for you to just basically ask someone for help. So it is easier for you to ask this person for help rather than do this task by yourself, and it will give you more time to nurture yourself. But it can be hard, especially when you're somebody who is more or less pretty confident or who has a little bit of an ego or a lot of pride, okay, to ask somebody for help, especially if you feel as though you don't want to be a burden. But you're not a burden, okay? Everyone needs help every now and then, even you, I know, shocker, but you have to take action because there's some pressing things that are calling for you to get done, and that is one thing that I see in action. It is the fact that in February, it is the perfect time for you to act, to move forward, as well as to take inspired action towards your dreams, okay? You have to move forward confidently. If you ask somebody for help, don't feel like weird about it. Don't feel as though it might have been the wrong thing for you to do. Confidence is key for you in February. I see that things are coming up in your life, big events where you need that confidence. And if you have to ask somebody to help you out with these events, if you have to ask someone to take 1 or 2 tasks off your hand, and that is okay. And that is one thing that your spirit guides want you to know. Just put any pride, any ego aside. Don't feel like you're a burden. Anybody who's around you is wanting and very willing to help, as you have helped them in the past as well. Then we have the 8 of Feathers, we have the Wheel, we have the King of Acorns, as well as the Empress. So we have a very interesting mixture here. In the Wheel, I want you to know that things are constantly changing in February, and just the different outcomes and possibilities are switching between each other, which can be kind of stressful, okay? Especially if you have big life events happening here, it can be really confusing, okay? When one time a date is changed, another time your outfit has changed, and the third time, you know, somebody wants to invite themselves last minute. But I want you to know here in the 8 of Feathers that you just have to kind of try and remain mentally calm and just be solution oriented, because many times when a lot of things are going on and we have our hands in a lot of different things in a lot of different pots, as you can see here, the octopus is able to put its 8 tentacles everywhere. I want you to know that sometimes that can be really stressful. But I want you to know that the octopus is also one of the, well, arguably one of the most intelligent animals on this planet. And I want you to kind of tune into that, okay? It's important for you to know that you can be innovative with these solutions, okay? And the King of Acorns, be optimistic. That is what the King of Acorns stands for, and that is who you should be embodying in February in order to make it out of February sane. So February is not like a bad month, but it's a month where a lot is going on for you. It is a month where, you know, you're planning trips. You're kind of trying to get everything done that you can get done. You're getting other people involved. It's stressful. And I want you to know here in the Empress is that really the beauty of it all is to just show you how abundant your life is, okay? You have people who are willing to help you. Not everybody has that. You have a great life events going on, you know, exciting times. A lot of people pray for exciting times, okay? A lot of people wish that they had something happen to them that was not their daily routine. So being grateful for just what is happening to you in February is going to change the entire mood. It's going to change the entire vibe of your February. So stick to that instead of feeling exhausted or like you're overwhelmed. Then last but not least, we have Magic. So this is one of the most favorable cards, okay? And you're able to make a wish, you're able to manifest, and it will come towards you a lot easier than you ever expected. So one thing that I see here is that magic surrounds you. The air, the vibration around you is kind of supercharged, and that may have to do with your chart specifically. And furthermore, I want you to use this magic, this increase in also like energy, to get as much done as you can. And as I said, leave any sort of feelings behind that are icky, that make you feel insecure, because you have so many more bigger things to focus on, okay? And as I said, if somebody doesn't have time, ask somebody else. No reason to feel butthurt about that. Everybody around you loves you. And that is one thing that I want you to get clear. That is one thing that your reading just oozes. The fact that you can sometimes feel as though when you're not kind of getting the attention or the things that you need, or if you ask for help and it was already a really big step and now you feel like your ego is bruised if the person says that they don't have time, don't let it get to you, okay? It's not a big deal. I know sometimes it can seem like a bigger deal than it really is, but it's all in your head. Everybody around you cares about you. They love you. Don't feel anxious, okay? Don't get into that social anxiety thing. Just live and enjoy what is going on. Enjoy all of the ups and downs and festivities. So all my beautiful Leos, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what you're most looking forward to and what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my beautiful Virgos, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to get straight into it by just intuitively seeing what's going on in your life in February of 2020. So first and foremost, we have trust. So one thing that I see that you need to do is leap into the unknown. So this may be a step that you knew that you have to take for a long time. It could be in love, it could be in your career, and just overall, it is something that you know that you should have done a long time ago. So one thing that I see here is that you have to just believe that basically the universe will catch you and that things will turn out okay, because just constantly thinking to yourself, what if you don't soar? What if you just fall to the ground? That is what has been keeping you on the ground instead of allowing you to see whether you can even soar and fly. Then we have polarity, we have leadership as well as healer. So as a Virgo, you're somebody who is smart, you're somebody who is also kind of careful and a little bit shy. And I want you to know here in the healer that you should not keep your gifts and the things that you naturally have within you. You should not keep those a secret, okay? You can help so many people with your powerful healing gifts. You're most likely naturally more of an empath kind of person. And I can see here that you just have to have faith in your abilities. That is one thing that you need. And in leadership, you have to just step into that role where you take the lead of your life. Sometimes it can just be easier to fade into the background and allow things to happen and then see where you fit, see what role you can take and what role you can play. But sometimes you have to make your own role. Sometimes you have to create things the way you want them to be and not just allow life to play out and then look for a little nook and cranny that you can fit into, you know? Make sure that you are creating your life. You are the leader of things. February is a great month for you to exert that power on your life and your decisions. So don't miss out on it, okay? It is not now the time to sort of fall into this mode of being too shy, you know, shying away. In polarity, I want you to integrate the side of yourself that you're maybe not so happy with. So maybe you're not so happy about the fact that yes, you are shy, or yes, you are kind of like fussy and a worrier, and you can sometimes be overly critical and harsh with yourself, or maybe even too much of a perfectionist and just somebody who is constantly criticizing themselves, okay? Very traditional and not wanting to see past certain limitations. So I want you to know that you can turn all of those into positives, and know also that the things that you struggle with mean that they enable things that you're happy with, because without having things that you're not happy with, how would you know what you're happy with? Everything would just be the same, you know what I mean? So in polarity, I want you to understand that, I want you to see that, and if you're, for instance, a relentless perfectionist or you're very traditional, use those things to shine, okay? Use those things to create that perfect project. Use your traditional sense, your traditional values to, for instance, look more into etiquette and create the perfect dinner party for yourself, your friends, the people around you. Just look for a way to turn those things that you're not happy with into a positive that you and the people around you are able to enjoy. Then we have the dragonfly, we have celebration, we have potential, as well as angel of miracles. So I can tell you right now that your potential is really, really soaring in February of 2020, but you have to think big. I feel as though right now you're thinking a little bit too small. That is why the dragonfly has showed up in your reading, because you have to start to live life to the fullest. There is no point in you playing it safe. There is no point in you just trying to do it the traditional way. If your real dream is to do a job that is unconventional, to be your own boss, then go after it. Honestly, what are you waiting for? Because at the end of the day, one thing that I see here in the angel of miracles is the fact that when you open your heart, you can expect a miracle. When you open your possibilities, you can expect things to go way better than you had ever thought that they could, okay? But the only way you will ever find out is if you allow yourself to, is if you allow yourself to trust and take that leap of faith. In celebration, one thing that I see here is that somebody is having some sort of party. So this could be you, this could be a friend, this could be a family member, but what you need to do is kind of let go, okay? In celebration, I see here that just as the lovely person depicted on this card, you have to just let go, dance, be yourself, don't be afraid to stand out and don't be afraid to have fun, okay? I feel as though sometimes you're a little too shy to say dance in front of other people, to really have fun, to maybe sing at a karaoke bar, but let loose in February. You need this, okay? As a Virgo, you're maybe already a little bit more uptight than the other signs, and I see that if you continue that, February is just going to be exhausting. So let go of a little bit of energy that is pent up within you. Then we have the Shaman, the Four of Shells, the Four of Acorns, as well as the Nine of Acorns. So we have a lot of acorns here, which corresponds to fire signs. And the Four of Acorns, one thing that I see here is that you have to find comfort within the right community. In the Four of Shells, I see that you have to reevaluate a little bit, you know, what friend circle, what kind of people can you let loose with the most? Is it a specific friend group? Is it a specific person? Is it a specific event or place? If you feel like you can let loose more at your friend's house than in a club, go to your friend's house in February. If you feel like you can really take more leaps of faith once you have been in the nature for a day or two, go camping, do whatever you need to do in order to shift your vibration to attain the highest possible good that you possibly can in February. Then in the Nine of Acorns, one thing that I see here is that you're very close to a breakthrough, okay? And if you haven't quite gotten to the point where you can jump over that shadow sort of self sense that you have over like the fact that, oh, I'm not really good at this, I'm not really good at that, I don't really know if I want to take the leap of faith, you know, you're going to be so close to taking that leap and letting go of all of those fears and that anxiety, but you have to hang in there for a little bit. It's most likely going to come towards the end of February, so you have to persevere and you have to remember that you can keep the power in your court by making sure that you don't give up. Don't be a quitter in February. Last but not least, in the Shaman, one thing that I see here is that you can gain more fresher perspectives as well as more power through just a spiritual approach. Okay, so try meditation, try healing yourself through crystals, try maybe even learning how to do tarot cards, maybe actually spending time more in the nature, you know, spending time with other people who are interested in these things, go to a Reiki session, whatever really floats your boat and makes you feel like you can be connected again. That is what I see that you should engage with actively, you know, just being spiritual in your way. And why I say your way is because we all have different ways of being spiritual. My channel is all inclusive, so whatever floats your boat makes you happy and makes you feel empowered enough to take leaps as well as to see the positives in what you once thought were negatives. That is where I see that you need to engage in most in February to get the most out of the month. Hello. So all of my Virgos, I truly hope that that hit home. I truly hope that you want to make the most out of February, and let me know down below what you're going to try out and what you're excited for in February of 2020. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my beautiful Libras, and welcome to your reading. So I want to get straight into it in order for us to figure out what's happening in your life in February of 2020. So first and foremost, we have anger, we have cycles, as well as possibilities. So all my dear Libras out there, one thing that I see here in cycles is the fact that you need to know everything has its right time. So if you feel like timing of something is off in February, think again, okay? The universe is already thinking ahead, is already trying to plan things out for you and to just make sure that it is for the good of it all. Have you ever been in a situation where, you know, you had option B happen instead of option A, which was the option that you actually wanted, but a few weeks and months later you were like, thank God option A didn't happen and I instead got option B because it saved me from a lot of things that I was not willing to put up with. So that is one thing that I see here in cycles for you. So be grateful for any sort of change in direction as it comes with a lot of possibility. So instead of being angry, because that is one tendency that I see here, okay, anger, because you put a lot of work into option A, okay? You put a lot of thought into where you wanted to go, and it may not turn out exactly how you wanted it to, but once you open your eyes to see the possibilities that come with the new detour, with the new route, you will start to see that, hey, I can actually elevate my expectations. Maybe I was dreaming and thinking way too small before, because option B actually comes with so many more benefits and possibilities. That is one thing that I see here. I see that you will tune into a new portal, into a new journey where all of a sudden you will see how much more potential that you have and how much more you can possibly accomplish in your life if you only let yourself do that. Then we have the dolphin, we have dreams, as well as epiphany. So one thing that I see in the dolphin is the fact that you have to sort of put worry aside as you're coming to a big epiphany, and it can feel really weird leading up to it, and you may also feel like your sleep patterns are disturbed. That is one thing that I see in dreams. And by disturbed, I mean having really crazy, intricate dreams. So put a book next to your bedside table, next to your bed with a pen so you can write them down as soon as you wake up, because keep in mind, some of the best ideas come in your dreams, okay? And that is one thing that I see a big possibility for you in February. Why is my voice all rusty? So furthermore, in epiphany, one thing that I see here is that you can seek out clarity specifically, okay? So by just allowing yourself to listen into different conversation topics, so that could be about the environment, that could be about human rights, that could be clarity in how to gain financial freedom, you know, tuning into different podcasts, different literature, different kind of media that is educational. That is where I see your epiphany coming from. So I see that, you know, you will feel kind of worried, but when you inform yourself more and more about how you can help the planet, how you can take advantage of different schemes that are out there in order for you to gain more financial success, you know, so those are obviously just examples. That is when you will come to the realization that the more educated you are, the more you will all of a sudden start to feel confident. And in epiphany, I want you to know that the more you learn, you know, the faster you can learn, the faster you can earn. I love that saying, and you will see that that is really true for you in February. Then we have the 10 of acorns as well as the 3 of feathers. So in the 10 of acorns, one thing that I see here is a heap of dedication towards the things that you are most passionate about. And in the 3 of feathers, one thing that I see is just kind of like releasing any fears that you may have had. So in the 10 of acorns, one thing that I see here is just the dedication that you have towards the things that you're passionate about obviously comes with responsibility, because when you're very dedicated to something and you put a lot of time towards it, you want to make sure that it makes sense, you know, that you either get emotional gain, financial gain, that where you're putting your energy into is going to bring value into this world as well as value to you. So just by kind of like releasing the fear of not being good enough, as well as recovering from what may have occurred in the past within your relationships, both romantic and platonic, you will get into a better headspace where you feel more confident and a lot less judged. Then we have the Knight of Crystals as well as the Shaman. So in the Knight of Crystals, one thing that I see here is an increase in a determination to really make things happen. So as a Libra, you're already very dedicated, okay? You're already very diligent when you do things, but February, ain't nobody stopping you, okay? And I see that a lot of it comes from spiritual power, just from knowing that the universe has your back, that there's nothing that you need to worry about, and just that allowing you to kind of relax a little bit, okay? To give you peace of mind. I see that that brings you a lot of value. Then we have polarity as well as expansion. So one thing that I see here in polarity is the fact that you will understand more about this polarity in your life. You will understand more about why you so deeply crave a balance as a Libra. And in expansion, I see here that that will allow you to spread your wings a lot more. That will allow you to kind of like see where your light is. And by that, I mean you understanding why you seek this balance so much will show you why you should maybe just chill about it, you know, why you should maybe relax about it a little bit more, and just expanding your thought process, expanding who you think you should be, where you think you should be in life, and allowing yourself to know that being unconventional or not being exactly where you've always wanted to be doesn't mean that this moment can't be great. You know what I mean? Yes, we're always working towards goals and things that we want to do, but if we're constantly working towards them and this moment is not important and we're working towards that perfect moment or towards that happiness, we are never going to be happy because it is just an endless cycle. So take a little moment to remind yourself of that in February, because you are working hard, you are very goal focused, but also be here right now with those who you love, as well as just with yourself. That will work wonders for you. So all my beautiful Libras, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it gave you insight as well as a little bit of peace of mind for February of 2020. Let me know down below what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my beautiful Scorpios, and welcome to your reading. So as a Scorpio, you are most likely very magnetic. You're very mysterious to other people, and this reading screams excitement, just like your sign. So let's see what's going on for you. We have anger, we have possibility, and cycles, as well as polarity. So all my beautiful Scorpios, I want you to know here that there is kind of like an emotional up and down, okay? The excitement is happening on the emotional plane. One thing that I can see here in anger is the fact that you have a lot of pent-up energy, okay? You have a lot of things that are on your mind that you want to get off your chest, but there is a time and place and a way to do it. That is one thing that I want you to keep in mind. I want you to know that there are many possibilities for you to tell this person in particular that is irking you in February how you feel. There is a situation that you cannot deal with, and you kind of want to just say how you feel. You kind of want to just put it out there just so that you're not carrying it around with you anymore. But one thing that I see here is that you need to keep in mind that being tactful is important for you in February, as I see that your potential is really limitless in February. And if you mess up some sort of emotional relationship, if you mess up something in the emotional planes, you will not be vibrating on the same level as if you would have just taken the time to make a solid plan. So you may be bothered in February if you don't act tactfully. You're the kind of person who wants to make sure that everything goes to plan. You're the kind of person who wants to make sure that, you know, all of your passion, your energy goes towards the right place, and it is important for you to use your intuition. One thing that I see here in cycles is the fact that everything has its right time, and timing is crucial for you in February. So allow yourself to take time to plan. Allow yourself to take time to make sure that you're not making any mistakes by initiating a conversation too early. So that could be a conversation, say, about a raise. That could be a conversation that you have with a friend or a family member about something that has really been bothering you. So give it enough time also for you to calm down so it does not turn into anger, as that will only blow things even further out of proportion. Then we have the Peacock as well as the Archangel Raphael. So in the Peacock, one thing that I see here is the fact that it is time to raise your standards, okay? All my beautiful Scorpios, one thing that I see here is that you can kind of be a little bit secretive, and you can be a little bit compulsive, which can sometimes make you seem very mysterious, like people don't really know who you are or what you're thinking. But I want you to raise your standards, because being like that can sometimes be a very lonely place. You can sometimes feel as though nobody really understands you or would get you, but know that you are super attractive in February of 2020, okay? It is okay for you to raise your standards. You have been taking less credit than other people who actually should be taking less credit. So you've kind of like been staying on the down low. You've kind of like been keeping things very, how should I say? You've been keeping things very relaxed because you don't want to be too out there. You don't want to seem like, you know, you're this grand peacock that's showing off. But at the same time, I see that, you know, your time has finally come. You need to stop living in the shadow of certain people, of just feeling like it is not your time, or you don't need to put yourself out there like that. You need to put yourself out there like that, okay? Now is the time for you. In Archangel Raphael, one thing that I see here is that Archangel Raphael is the provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. So I see that you will be given situations where you can heal your mind, your body, and your spirit, but you have to take them, okay? So if you have the possibility to go, for instance, to a yoga class or a yoga course, heal your mind, your body, your spirit. If you have the chance to do a juice fast, a juice cleanse, and you feel like that is something that would be healthy for you, take that opportunity, heal your mind, your body, and your spirit. Don't turn the other way. Don't tell yourself you'll do it later, because we all know that you will not do it later. And it would be most beneficial for you to really invest time into yourself physically, spiritually in February of 2020, because there are great deals that are also going to be available for you where you can save money as well. Okay, so in good fortune as well as dreams, one thing that I see here is that we have good luck, prosperity coming towards you, especially in good fortune, obviously, but you have to allow it to come in. So that is one thing that I was trying to explain to you by just, you know, keeping your eyes open and allowing yourself to actually check out different places where you can heal yourself, where you can regenerate. So that may be a weekend retreat, that may be, you know, a one-time class, that may be sort of like a Reiki or massage session, whatever it is that makes you feel regenerated and like your energy has been renewed. That is where I see that you should engage in February of 2020. In dreams, I want you to know that you will dream really funny stuff, okay? You may dream things about people that you haven't seen in a long time, but you may also dream things about your life and how it might have turned out or how it may turn out in the future. So dreams are a very intricate and interesting topic and subject. What I would recommend for you would be to keep a pen and a paper next to your bed on your bedside table and write down your dreams in order to be able to keep track and record of what is going on, and in order for you to also maybe try and steer your dreams in certain directions, as many people believe that you have the best ideas and just your dreams are a reflection of your reality as well as your thoughts, your subconscious thoughts. That could really be an indication for you as to what you need to work on with your subconscious thoughts, as well as what is already going well for you, you know? So if you're dreaming, for instance, an amazing life, an amazing time, and then you know that subconsciously you have positive thoughts about yourself as well as your life that are circulating, which is something that you may not see, well, you don't see with your conscious mind, but just sort of extracting all this information for your dreams is what I see as beneficial, as well as will give you like very revolutionary new information in February of 2020. Then we have the 7 of shells, we have the 7 of feathers, as well as the 6 of feathers. So in the suit of feathers, we are connected to air signs, okay? I want you to know that intellectually, this is a month that is interesting. Furthermore, in the 7 of feathers, I see here that you have to be resourceful. You have to make sure that you make the most of what you have. So you may think to yourself, oh, you know, I can't start a business. I can't do X, Y, and Z because I don't have the financial means, because I don't know how. X, Y, and Z, but there's so many resources these days. You know, there's the internet, there are courses, there are different ways how you can really engage with knowledge and make sure that you acquire new knowledge to then monetize it or use it to make your life better. So it's really just all about gaining insight, and that is what I see in the 6 of feathers. February of 2020 is all about learning, gaining more insight as to how you can take the next steps, as well as just knowing that you have a choice. In the 7 of shells, I see that, you know, it's kind of nerve-wracking for you to know that you have a choice between allowing your life to be the way it is now or creating your dream life and creating something completely different that you never thought possible. But know that it's your life, it's in your control. If you do not allow yourself to dream, to you know, adventure, to go to different places, to see all the possibilities that are in your life, as well as those that you secretly don't even believe in, you know, if you do not allow yourself to still try, to still go to different places, to still change your life from the inside, then obviously things will remain the same, or things will only change at a snail's pace. So keep in mind here in the 7 of shells that it is probably most beneficial for you in February of 2020 to focus on your ambitions and then to make the conscious choice to really zoom in on them and to not feel like they're too big or too grand, and to see that when you raise your standards internally, when you feel like you're more worthy, okay, when you allow yourself to shine, that is when whole new possibilities and doors present themselves for you. Because guess what? Successful people, successful, you know, situations of success attract people who feel worthy of it. So make sure that you're feeling worthy, that you're exuberating that kind of vibration, that kind of energy, and that you're allowing everybody to know that yes, you value yourself, and that is completely fine. Even though society and other people may feel otherwise, you know what you're doing and you know what is best for you in your life. So all my Scorpios, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. I hope that it gave you clarity as well as motivation. Let me know down below what really hit home and what you're looking forward to in February of 2020, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my Sagittariuses, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be conducting your reading completely intuitively, so make sure that you lean back and enjoy. So let's figure out exactly what's going on in your life in February of 2020. So we have balance, we have intention, as well as freedom. So we have a very interesting mixture here. I see as though you need a little bit more balance between your intention as well as freedom. So the intentions that you have for your life may be very binding, okay? You may have this intention to become extremely wealthy or to have this really amazing family and home life where you have children, a partner, a home to keep up. And one thing that I see here is that you have to be very clear and decisive about what it is that you want, so you don't kind of like take way too many things into consideration. Focus on one or two, maybe three things that you really want, and then make sure that you also focus on balance, because that is the only way that you will have freedom. So for instance, if you want financial freedom, okay, then make sure that you're focusing on trying to build a business where you can step away as well, you know, every now and then for a week, 2 weeks, and you come back and things have not gone completely to, you know, that word, okay? Do not allow yourself to build something where you're so dependent on constantly being there, on constantly exerting all of your energy because your intention was to be successful in this area of life. There is, you know, there's different kind of success. You can be successful while still being able to have freedom. Just because you want a family does not mean that you will be unable to ever have time for yourself, but you have to make sure that you build that balance, because you're in the driver's seat. You're the one who is designing your life, you know, your home life, your career, and you have to make sure that you build it in a way that you're not kind of like strapped to a seat, that you're not kind of like, you know, in shackles because of the intentions that you have set for yourself and your life. Then in partnership, one thing that I see here is that it's important for you to make sure that every task that you are doing, theoretically, somebody else could do. So if you're, for instance, working in banking and finance and you want to start your own business, okay, then you already know certain things, how to do them, and you know that other people are able to do this task as well. It is not only you. So make sure when you start your own business that you set it up in a way how you are not the only person that can do certain tasks, okay? Make sure that the business is not fully dependent on you, because otherwise you don't have balance, because you'll be working all the time without any breaks. So it is important for you to create your dream life strategically, and that is one thing that I want you to focus on in February. I see that there are a lot of chances for you to collaborate with people or to learn from other people, and as a Sagittarius, you know, you're somebody who's very honest, somebody who is very straightforward, and that is a great quality for you to have in February, as that will allow you to bounce off ideas with other people and really discuss how you can make sure that you maintain the balance in your life so that you're not stripped of your freedom. Then we have opportunity knocks, we have leadership, we have celebration, as well as the dragonfly. So all my Sagittariuses, one thing that I see is that your reading has a lot to do with your career, okay? And opportunity knocks, one thing that I see here is that there is amazing opportunities that are coming towards you, but it's important for you to allow those opportunities to be let in. So you may feel a little bit apprehensive, you may feel a little bit as though you're unsure what to do in that situation, but know that you have to live life to the fullest. You can't always have everything be 100% safe and secure before you try it. If you want to try a new instrument, if you want to try a new way of drawing or start a new business, you know, the only way how you will know how something can actually work and be successful is through making mistakes. You know, that is something that I can't stress enough. That is something that I've experienced so many times. You have to set goals and you have to be a leader that keeps getting up even when they fall, especially if it is your dream to be independent in life and to be able to do as you please. You know, whether that is through working for somebody, working for yourself, being an investor, being somebody who owns big businesses, it doesn't really matter what it is that you want to do, but you have to continue getting back up because you will make a lot of mistakes. You will fall on your butt quite a few times. And the difference between you and other people is that you get back up and that you make sure that you let go of anything that may have come with this, any sort of negative feelings, any feelings of you not being able to reach your full potential, because those are just ghosts of the past that you don't need, okay? And it is definitely 100% best for you to let go of those so that you can start on a fresh slate always, whether it's a new business, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's any new venture that you want to do. One thing that I see here is that it's important for you to just have fun first and foremost. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Then we have the Knight of Feathers as well as the Page of Shells. So in the Page of Shells, one thing that I see here is that you have to allow yourself to get inspired intuitively, okay? Because sometimes you may look for inspiration in very certain places. You may think to yourself, let me check Instagram, let me check Pinterest, let me check X, Y, and Z for relationship goals, financial goals, for whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life. And it is just so important for you to make sure that you're allowing yourself to be inspired by places that make you feel good. So if you're looking, for instance, for outfit ideas, and every time you go on Instagram you feel bad about yourself, you feel lesser than just because of all of the highly photoshopped images that are on there, then don't engage or indulge in that anymore. You know, remove yourself from that. You don't need that. Make sure that you're actively, you know, focusing on areas of life that make you feel inspired, that keep you inspired, and also don't make you feel lesser than. So if that is more blogs, books, just places where you feel like the standards are more real, if you will, then allow yourself to indulge more into that plane, okay? Because there are so many people who are just like you, sick and tired of feeling lesser than when they're engaging with certain platforms, and they too have escaped into different fields, into different planes where they can feel more comfortable. So don't deprive yourself of that, as this is something that can keep you going, that can keep you motivated, as you are now spending less time feeling like things aren't going the way you would like them to go, or feeling like you're comparing yourself to other people and their accomplishments. Because in February, that is not what you need. You're building an empire. You're continuing to figure out how you can gain more freedom while still having that balance. So make sure that you allow that to be a priority and that you're not distracted by anything that is quote unquote unnecessary. So all my dear Sagittariuses, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful as well as motivational. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my gorgeous Capricorns, and welcome to your reading. So I want to get straight into it by conducting your reading completely intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy. So first and foremost, we have freedom. So one thing that I see for you in February of 2020 is the fact that you're going to be able to live wild and free again, okay? So a big burden is going to be taken off your shoulder. One thing that I see here is that you can choose freedom. So you can choose to have a little bit of time to just relax and enjoy freedom, or you can already look at the next thing that you want to do. So instead of looking at the next thing, take some time to recuperate, take some time to claim your independence and to reclaim time for yourself. Then we have action as well as courage. So in action, one thing that I see here is that it is the perfect time in February of 2020 for you to take action, okay? So there may be something that you've been procrastinating that you wanted to do, and it takes a lot of courage. And often that is the root of procrastination. When a task is so big or so important to you that you don't even know where to start, that you then procrastinate it, which actually is even more detrimental to the task. But that is not how the human brain works in those situations. So I want you to know here that you need to move forward with confidence, okay? You're being given this courage in February of 2020 so you can finally overcome these obstacles as well as fears and all of the reasons why you've been procrastinating. Just look at it this way. I mean, at the end of the day, it is something that you want for yourself. Does it really make sense to procrastinate? Does it really make sense for you to push things around when you know that they need to be done anyways? Not really, right? And encourage, furthermore, I want you to know that this fear is just an illusion, and you have to set boundaries between yourself and those fears, because they're going to mess up a lot more in life for you than you may have ever expected if you allow them to run wild. So make sure that you cut the cord and that you set those boundaries in February. Then we have a polarity for you. So in polarity, one thing that I see here is that you have to keep in mind that of course there are fears, of course there are things that aren't going so well, but at the same time, if there weren't any downs, how would there be ups? Keep that in mind. Furthermore, I want you to know here that you have to figure out exactly where your shadow side is and where your shadow side ends is what I'm trying to say, and where your light side begins. And allow yourself to kind of say to yourself, look, yes, I have some shadow sides. Yes, I have some things that I'm working on, but at the same time, so does everybody else. But the difference between me and a lot of other people is that I have the courage to look at my shadow side. And that is one thing that puts you ahead of a lot of people, the fact that you are unafraid to look at your shadow side, because a lot of people won't even look at it. But in February, you will be confronted with it because, you know, you're either getting into an argument or you're kind of like in a disagreement mentally, internally with yourself. And then you look at the things that you're not happy with yourself. So maybe you're impatient, maybe you're the kind of person who can be kind of like pessimistic, and you start to realize, I don't really like that, but you know what, at least I'm looking at it, at least I'm realizing it, and that can allow me to make a change. And then we have the Eight of Acorns as well as the Moon. So in the Moon, one thing that I want you to know here is that perception is really important. So in February of 2020, your imagination may run really wild, and you may all of a sudden start seeing things in a way that is not really reality. So that could be yourself, that could be, you know, bordering on kind of body dysmorphia. Maybe that is something that you're already dealing with, and not properly seeing the beauty in yourself. Or it could be, you know, seeing somebody as a friend or as a close acquaintance, as maybe a romantic interest that is definitely not a romantic interest, that does definitely not deserve to be kind of like in that area code. So in the Eight of Acorns, I want you to focus more on the things that you're certain about, okay, as your vision may be a little bit distorted, as your perception may not be so on point in February. It is probably best to stay away from making any long-lasting decisions, as you need to get to a mental space where you feel more, well, you probably do feel confident in February, but I'm just telling you, it's best to leave really big decisions for later and to just focus on taking action with the things that you have been procrastinating, okay? Then we have the Nine of Crystals as well as the Eight of Shells. So one thing that I see here in the Eight of Shells is the fact that there can be a renewal for you emotionally. So you will come to a point where you will realize that maybe your perception has been a little bit off, and instead of beating yourself down about it or feeling as though, oh, this is like a big flaw, I have so many issues, you instead will think to yourself, no, I will use this as a renewal, and I will allow myself to kind of take that in order to build this new security net. So by building a new security net, I mean actually having a system that works for you, how you can really discern at a later point in life whether your perception is on or off. So let me give you an example. For instance, if you notice in February of 2020 that you have given a friend a romantic interest way too many chances, you come to the realization that they're just not interested, or maybe they're just kind of using you. Okay, we have creative wonderment, so you have to follow what you're passionate about. So back to the story of you realizing, coming to the realization of what they were actually there for. I want you to use this creative wonderment. I want you to use this passion that you have to not be the person that they are just using. I want you to allow yourself to then know, okay, in the future, I have these signs. I have these signs of them, for instance, not texting back, of not telling the truth, of only being there when there is a drama to be discussed. And those can be your red flags that you allow yourself to put up as almost like a test when you feel like you're not seeing things clearly, or you're kind of missing out on little signals, okay? So if you're not 100% sure about your, how should I say, do I call it a radar? Do I call it how you how you perceive people. If you're not 100% sure that you're perceiving people as they are, then make sure that you set up this little checklist that you can go through in order to really be assertive as to whether this person is good for your life or not. Then we have legends, we have leadership, as well as unicorn. So there's definitely serendipity coming into your life, and that is the good news for you. That is one thing that I see in the unicorn for all my dear Capricorns. So allow yourself to take the lead when it comes to serendipity, okay? When great opportunities present themselves, don't feel like running the other way. Don't feel like you have to let fear overcome you. Don't feel like it is something that is not meant for you, okay? And also don't feel like when you're having this streak of luck, like, oh, you know, something bad is probably going to happen soon. That is not the case. In legends, one thing that I see here is that you're able to learn from those who are older, more mature than you, and they will tell you, just enjoy the moment, be in the moment, and enjoy all of the blessings that are coming your way without allowing yourself to feel like, oh, something bad is about to happen. Well, guess what? Sometimes good things just happen, and it's only good things, and it's only serendipity, which is what I see for you mostly in February of 2020. So allow that serendipity to flow into your creative ventures. That is one thing that I see in creative wonderment. You know, your passion will feel a lot closer to touch than ever before. So enjoy this time. So while, yes, your perception is kind of a little bit off, yeah, you have to catch up on things that you've been procrastinating. It's not really a month that is difficult for you. It's not really a month that you struggle with. Overall, it is a month where you can improve, but in your little bubble, yes, there is a lot of serendipity, love, as well as just this feeling of safety. So all my Capricorns, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful as well as motivational. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my gorgeous Aquariuses, and welcome to your reading. So I want to get straight into it in order to figure out exactly what life holds in stock for you in February of 2020. So first and foremost, we have the unicorn as well as legend. So amazing news for you. In the unicorn, we have serendipity coming your way, okay? We have a lot of good luck. We have a lot here that is coming your way where you think to yourself, wow, this is a great month. This is actually so fortunate. But believe me, it is not just a coincidence. It is not just a great fortunate month. This was meant to be for you. Furthermore, in legends, I want you to know that people who are wiser than you, who are kind of further down the line in their career, or they are where you're trying to go, will be able to give you invaluable information that you need in order to further your life as well as your success. So listen very intently when your mother, your grandmother, somebody older than you, or somebody who has accomplished what you're trying to accomplish is speaking to you and giving you advice, okay? They will have kind of invaluable advice that you didn't think you could get so quickly, you know? But when you allow yourself to just be in the moment as well as receptive to taking in this information and not thinking to yourself, oh, you know, whatever, they're just talking, that is when you actually retain the most. That is when your mind is open and when you're able to make the most out of this amazing information. Because just think to yourself, people who have done what you're trying to do, people who are way older than you, have seen so much more and are able to allow you to not make the mistakes that they have made just by giving you advice. So furthermore, we have leadership as well as resilience. So one thing that I see here in leadership as well as resilience is the fact that your leadership qualities are kind of like your ability to lead maybe questioned. There may be somebody who is constantly asking you, are you sure you want to do this with your life? Are you sure this is the next step that you want to take? Are you sure about this person? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? You know what I mean? Kind of instilling a little bit of insecurity within you. But one thing that I see here in resilience is that it's important for you not to listen to the noise, okay? A lot of people who are worried for you or basically think that they're helping you by just asking these questions about what if it goes wrong. I just want you to know that they often have a lot of fears and they can project that onto you and the fact that you're going places in life. But I want you not to allow that to get to your head. I want you not to allow that to enter your plane, and instead, in the Three of Shells, focus on being playful, focus on having fun. I see that there's a lot of opportunity here to go out to have fun as well as to just live it up. So when somebody tries to put doubt in your mind or tries to ask you, oh, are you really sure you can, or tries to ask you, are you really sure that you can do this? Just tell them like, yeah, and let's go and have fun. You know, let's change the topic, because at the end of the day, there's no point really in February in mulling over these situations or trying to change somebody's mind or opinion. You don't need that. You know that you're a great leader for your life as well as your dreams, so stick to that vibe. Then we have the King of Shells. So in the King of Shells, one thing that I see here is that you have a lot of sort of harmonious emotional potential in February of 2020. So you are in control of your emotions, and this may be completely new to you, okay? Not trying to call you out, but there's a reason why you guys call me the queen of calling you out. But one thing that I see is that, you know, balance is something that comes more easily to you. I see that you feel more like you're in control of your emotions, and harmony is just something that is prevailing, and you're really able to show your integrity off to this world. Then we have the King of Feathers as well as the Three of Crystals. So we have the King of Feathers as well as the King of Shells. So we have two cards that are pretty authoritative, that are pretty mature. I also see that there is a possibility here for somebody to enter your life that represents one of these kings, you know, somebody who is, as I said, older, more mature, more established, and just knows what they want. In the King of Feathers, we have a figure that is very much justice loving, that loves also everything that is logical, okay? And does not like to reason just based on feelings and emotions. In the Three of Crystals, I see here that productivity is one thing that you want to look into. So I want you to focus in correlation to the King of Feathers on being productive without allowing your feelings to get in between you and your productivity, okay? Because sometimes you can think to yourself, oh, well, you know, I'm kind of tired. Well, you know, I kind of feel like I need a mental health day, but actually it's just a avoid work day, okay? But use that King of Feathers approach where you're logical, where you're making sure that you're not just saying that you don't want to do something or saying that you cannot do something, all just because of thinking to yourself, well, you know, I guess I could take a little bit of time off. So do not make excuses. That is one thing that I see that you are prone to in February of 2020, but just already knowing this from watching your reading will allow you to avoid a lot of situations that aren't necessary. Then in Trust, Nature, Freedom, as well as the Goddess, we have a few more aspects for your life in February of 2020. So in Freedom, one thing that I see here is that it is okay for you to live it up a little, okay? February is a great month for you to reclaim your independence, as well as to choose to just be free of any sort of judgment, okay? If you feel judged often, allow yourself to know like you don't have to put up with that. Furthermore, in nature, ground yourself. Find your sanctuary in nature. There is no reason for you to be walking around in whatever concrete jungle or whatever area that you're in if there's not enough greenery, if there's not enough kind of grounding energy there, because the vibration of nature is completely different to being in a city or being, you know, in a town where everything is kind of gray, where everything is kind of dead, okay, where nothing is growing. So make sure that you connect with the nature, with the power that is within the nature, and allow yourself to take that time to build up the energy in order to leap into the unknown. I want you to know here in leadership, as we spoke about, you are the best leader that there is for your life, your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations, because you know what you want and only you know exactly what you want. So in Trust, I want you to trust that you do, because sometimes it can be hard to really feel confident in yourself, your abilities, as well as your knowingness for yourself, especially when people are trying to instill doubt into your mind. And in the Goddess, I want you to see your inner beauty. I want you to love every part of you that knows what he or she or they want. I want you to love every part of you that has this divine feminine energy, that is able to have a vision of what your life could be, and just, you know, gently tell people to back off, but at the same time know that that does not need to affect you, okay? So trust in yourself, trust that you're the best leader that there is out there for your life. Don't allow anybody to come in between you and your serendipity, and most importantly, you know, make sure that there are no no excuses here when it comes to the things that you know need to get done. So all my beautiful Aquariuses, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful as well as a little inspirational and motivational. Let me know down below what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my gorgeous Pisces, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be conducting your reading completely intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy your reading being conducted right before your eyes. So first and foremost, we have the Nine of Shells. So in the Nine of Shells, one thing that I see coming for you in February of 2020, is emotional fulfillment. But let's move further into your reading. We have the World. Okay, all of my dear Pisces, February of 2020 looks pretty lit. It looks pretty emotionally fulfilled and happy. The World card is arguably the most favorable card in the tarot, okay? And I want you to know that the World card is all about fulfillment, celebration, happiness, being with those who you love, who care about you, and who you care about, you know, just enjoying life. So I definitely see a lot of happiness coming for you in February of 2020. And I know it almost sounds a little boring just to say like, oh, there's happiness, but that's just how it is. So allow yourself to enjoy this. As a Pisces, you're somebody who is naturally very empathetic. You're somebody who is naturally the kind of person who likes to give others the benefit of the doubt and gets hurt very often, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with you. So enjoy this time out, enjoy this happiness, and enjoy the fact that things are looking in your favor and nobody's trying to trip you finally in February of 2020. Then we have the Ten of Acorns as well as the Ace of Feathers. So in the Ace of Feathers, one thing that I see here is that you're able to build a new foundation mentally because you're in such a good space. So that will give you a little bit of distance of the things that you struggle with being in this amazing space. What I mean by that is, for instance, if you struggle with, say, an eating disorder or depression, you just being in a really good space mentally will give you the distance to be objective about these things that you struggle with and to allow you to say to yourself, hey, I want to build a new foundation. I want this to be the norm. I don't want February of 2020 to just be that month that was amazing for me. I want to make sure that, you know, I make every month amazing, that I experience this more often, and you can, okay? It is not just luck. It is not just the universe. You can experience more happiness and just a more fulfilled time if you want to. In the Ten of Acorns, I definitely see that you will need to dedicate time towards that, especially if you're dealing with something mentally. It can be very hard to overcome those things because they're patterns, they're things that you're used to, they're things that maybe even give you security. You know, eating disorders give people stability, security. Depression is something that someone, maybe that is the only thing that this person knows. So of course it gives them a little bit of a sense of comfort, if you will. So know that the dedication that you will have to come up with is going to require a lot of strength out of you. So don't necessarily do this in February, you know, like just enjoy the happiness, but allow yourself to already kind of like pre-plan, like, yeah, okay, I'm going to build a new foundation. I'm going to build a completely new me, and that is what I'm going to follow through with. All I need to do is kind of make the plan and psych myself up for it. Then we have these 7 deadly sins as well as children. So in these 7 deadly sins, one thing that I see here is that you will come in contact with something that really makes you feel down about humanity. So this could be, you know, for instance, trash by the ocean. This could be animals that are suffering, humans that are suffering, and you will think to yourself, like, how can I make this place a better place? And in children, one thing that I see is that you may actually not even desire children, or you may be very afraid to have children in your life, or for the kids that you already have in your life, younger siblings, because of humanity's sort of like bad traits. Because of all of the crazy things that are going on in the world, you may think to yourself, like, this is such a crazy world. I don't really want to put other people out into this mess, because not everybody is strong. Not everybody is able to defend themselves. And that could be just because of, you know, how they were born, of who they are. It's not everybody's fault that they can't defend themselves, and not everybody can learn to defend themselves against certain, you know, parts of society and certain human beings. So I definitely see you having some deep thoughts about that, as well as some inspiration as to how you can help and how you can turn things around. Then we have receive as well as innocence. So in receive, I want you to be open to receiving goodness. I want you to know that you are worthy of abundance and that you should just take it all in February. I see that a gift is coming to you. So somebody may give you a little gift. Somebody may give you something that you've always kind of wanted, okay? And one thing that I want you to take time to do here is to just be almost like a child again, okay? Have this childlike sense of wonderment. Have this time to yourself where you're able to just relax and be excited about the little things, just like when you were a kid, and bringing yourself back to that time through, for instance, eating things that you had as a child, or smelling a scent that reminds you of someone from your childhood or something. I see that that can really awaken very nostalgic feelings that put you back into a time where maybe you had a little bit more of a carefree life. Then we have polarity as well as intuition. So I want you to know here that in February of 2020, your intuition is talking a lot, okay? Your intuition is very vocal. And I see here that you can trust your intuition, and you should trust your intuition no matter what, but you're kind of struggling with that, because in polarity, one thing that I see here is that you're torn between trusting your intuition as well as trusting more of the logical side of you. But I want you not to discriminate your intuition. I want you to know that you don't always need to reason with logic. Sometimes you can just go with what feels right. You can just go with what makes you happiest, and you don't have to choose the path that is more conventional, if you will. Then last but not least, we have creative wonderment and intuition again. So I'm going to start off with creative wonderment though. I want you to know that in February of 2020, you're able to follow your passions because of this amazing fulfillment coming your way, because of this inspiration as well as emotional happiness and fulfillment. Because let's be real, when you're happy, when you feel fulfilled, when you feel like things are going how you would like them to go, you're more inspired and more creative. You're able to do the things that you've always wanted to do because it also gives you this kind of like push and confidence. Furthermore, in intuition, as we already spoke about in intuition within this deck, I want you to know that your intuition is clearly trying to speak to you right now. There's a reason why you tuned into this reading specifically, and why we just spoke about your intuition, and the universe, you know, whatever it is that you believe in, is trying to reiterate how important it is for you to trust your intuitive side in February of 2020. So any decisions that you make, allow yourself to take a moment to go into your body, to go into where it is that you hear your intuition, where it is that you feel it guiding you, and allow your intuition to help you make difficult decisions and to guide you onto the right path for you. So all of my beautiful Pisces, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading, and I hope that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.